All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are just about going here. Really quickly, let me just verify that this stream is running. It says I'm live, so we should be good. And there we have it. All right, welcome to the stream. To all the people that will probably be here in like 2 hours and then leave in 30 seconds. Now that being said, we finally have a special guest back for another stream, ladies and gentlemen. Max is back with us today. So, generally, the main topic of this stream that probably won't be talked about for too long because of how the average conversation goes is basically just what's changing going into the next Monster Jam season. That goes for things like driver retirements, truck debuts, and stuff like that. So I guess a pretty solid place to start with something like this is to talk about what's going to be going away next year. So I guess the best way to start that is driver retirement. So I have a list of all of the drivers right here, but who do you want to start off with based on what you can remember? That's a solid pick right there. I mean, let's be real. That's not how we wanted him to retire, but he still had one more year to an extent. Now, the Tom Meents is kind of a double-edged sword as far as retirements go because him retiring didn't only mean him retiring, but that also meant the retirement of Max D, which is going to cause some driver swaps that we'll talk about a little bit later on. So, with that being said, what do you think is going to change now that Max D's gone, with that being one of the flagship trucks behind Monster Jam? Hey, smile. I think that's very true. The most notable thing that I could think about that would more or less affect the market of Monster Jam was that was like a very advertised truck. But it seems like they've already gone pretty deep into the process of integrating other trucks between stuff like the Thunder Roarus drop or the fact that Max Diaz had drastically less diecast than Gravedigger, kind of in preparation for the truck to be retiring. So I feel like that's something that uh, will probably fade out eventually. I will probably still have some diecast appearances, like Northern Nightmare and all that. But one very interesting thing that comes with truck retirements, as we've discovered this year, is that if a truck retires, it's not really retired, and it will probably come back at some random event in the future. So the same could be true for Max D, if you think about it. But probably not for a very long while. Now, there are some driver retirements outside of Tom Meents, even though Tom Meents was, of course, the biggest one being talked about this season. One of the most notable of those was relatively fan favorite driver Corey Rummel, which was really a surprise to me. I really was not expecting to hear about his retirement, but lo and behold, it is now confirmed that Corey Rummel is not going to be driving next season, or I don't even know. He might have. Did he say full-time retirement? I don't really remember. Yeah, honestly, I honestly have no memory of this, but and in all fairness, he did drive for over a decade. I want to say 11 years or so. So he had a pretty solid career overall. Competed at the World Finals a bunch of times, including this last one, which we both got to see him at. Career highlight for Corey Rummel as far as us goes, you got to remember that 2023 show in Glendale. That was one of the best runs I've seen to date from Corey Rummel with that crazy move that you actually had a pretty good angle of from where you were for that.
I did. I was pretty lucky.
Yeah, so he also just always seemed to have pretty good luck with Glendale in general, I guess except the last show. What was did you go to the 2022 February show? Alright, I don't remember when you picked back up with going to all the shows.
I started going back to shows of the Mage shows, 2021.
Okay, so you were there for that. That run, I feel like it's overlooked a lot. He had some really good air, a decent save, and he pretty much, I think he, yeah, completely filled time. So, pretty historic career. Are there any other notable things that he did, not just in Glendale, but in general, that you'd want to comment on? That is true. He also was the only driver to drive, what was it? Nitro Zombie.
Oh yeah, Superstar last year. That's correct.
Didn't necessarily go the best for him, ever, but
Yeah, it was not meant for that truck. It was weird.
I think that could be said about quite a lot of stuff. With some odd driver pairings in recent years. Even just Todd LeDuc and Megalodon, even though it's been around for 2 years, coming on 3, it's still just so weird to me.
Yeah.
Alright, well, here's a retirement we gotta comment on, especially us personally. Well, not a retirement, but at least stepping back for a while, Mr. Too Tall David Ulfert. I mean, that was a real surprise to me, hearing about that.
Yeah, and you were able to witness his on the shows. Very lucky.
Yeah, he had a pretty solid last run, although he did not quite run for the full 8 minutes that he had advertised in the pits. He did throw down an amazing run. I want to say he ran 3.5 minutes, so that is the longest run I've seen. Whatever you'd make of it. I haven't yet uploaded that, but I might honestly upload that on its own since it was kind of a important moment. But yeah, it is unfortunate to see Too Tall stepping away. He was one of my favorite drivers, especially with just like local fair shows to catch up with. So hopefully we'll see him back eventually. I know it probably won't be too soon, but he still made some pretty good marks. Especially here's a show that doesn't get talked about a ton anymore either. Glendale 2022 had some amazing moments in the fall, and David Ulfert was definitely one of those.
Oh yeah, he cooked. 10%.
My favorite part, definitely that ending backflip with the save.
Yeah.
Now outside of that, there was a lot of drivers retiring, particularly those 3, and of course Brandon Vincent, who has already left the scene. But there's also some trucks, apart from Max D retiring, which of course have been all over the talk recently. Those being Mohawk Warrior and Bakugan Dragonoid. So, I mean, both trucks had pretty big legacies, respectively. Of course, Mohawk Warrior being the biggest of those, having ran for 14 years. Yeah, pretty long career there. It was pretty much split between 2 drivers. I mean, Elvis and a couple other drivers had their moments with it, but particularly split between Bryce Kenny and George Belhan. So a pretty significant truck. Somehow, and I don't even know how, but that truck never was quite able to get a world championship. Nonetheless, though, it was a hugely historic truck, especially looking at stuff like the consecutive backflip, which for some reason that truck did like 3 times successfully out of like the 12 that have been completed. Now, I personally find it really strange that Bakugan Dragonoid is retiring. I'm not really sure exactly why they would choose to have retired that truck of all things to make room for Classroom Crusher.
Well, in my opinion, I don't think Classic Crush is the replacement for Bakugan because Sparkle Smash is the new Spin Master truck.
Yeah, I do think that's correct there. Of course, they probably did not want Camden Murphy to drive Sparkle Smash, or if Camden Murphy would even want to. I do think it's a little bit strange, but I can see where they'd want it to be one Spin Master focused truck, but Bakugan was really my favorite of the new wave of like detailed bodies that we'd seen. Looking at stuff like I don't know, there was like modernized Monster Mutt came along at some point, or just stuff like trying to think of What are like some 3D bodies? I guess they did kind of run a lot of repeats like El Toro for a while, but even between like Megalodon and stuff like that, Bakugan Dragonoid was really my favorite of them, aside from Dragon itself. So it is unfortunate that it's going away, but I mean maybe Camden's truck change will lead to him at least ripping out one or two less axles than he typically does in a season.
Yeah, they ran a good 5 years.
It sure did. Um, with that being said, there's not a ton else that we're really losing out of this year. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be debuting next year, which we'll get to. Now, looking past direct retirements, there are a couple of drivers that have, really without saying anything, kind of vanished from Monster Jam. Of course, the notable of those being Ryan Disharoon and John Gordon, who both had pretty successful careers overall in Monster Jam. Now, exactly why they are no longer with Monster Jam is not a public thing that's been talked about, so no one really knows unless you were involved behind the scenes with it. So it's very intriguing to me. I will say, just off initial thought, Ryan Disharoon had some great years, but this year he was battling a lot of truck problems and early rollovers, so I don't know if that would have any relation, but it is very interesting to me. So is there anything particular that you think might be notable with them now stepping down from Monster Jam?
Well, since we got those teams out, you get some new ones, like for example, the Robin. I'm a big fan of Robin, especially Montana Robin like crazy. I love that truck, so between Phoenix and I am gonna miss Flying Ryan and John Gordon. But they were pretty cool. They were pretty cool trucks to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of the major points said there. And I do like that you've kind of unintentionally transitioned us into the next section that I was just about getting ready to get to, which is that although there are some drivers, whoa, okay, I guess I've already talked enough today because my voice is already losing it. There are some drivers leaving, but there's also some drivers either joining Monster Jam tours for the first time or coming back after taking some breaks from Monster Jam. So, of course, you mentioned the first of those being the Robins, and I also am quite a fan of Playing Crazy, but aside from that, it's very notable to say how successful Triton Robbins was in his first go with Monster Jam. I can't recall what the venue was, or where.
New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I did he take play? Did he take home an overall, or was it just like second place? It was something way up there.
I was already second or third. I believe he got the skill win for the second show. Yeah, I might have to look back to it, but I remember I think he probably went second or third.
Yeah, so he did really good for his first weekend, and I think, although I probably don't see him winning the tour, he's definitely going to be something to look out for because, I mean, that is some pretty high placements, and although you, in arenas, basically have to win or already have been a world champion to make it to the world finals, now with the LCQ being introduced, I honestly wouldn't be too surprised if we were to see him there.
Same with
Yeah, I think so too. He didn't have quite as good a performance as Triton, but also we're going to be seeing a full season now instead of just a couple events, so he has a lot more time to get dialed in. Also, what on earth is happening on your side of town?
What do you mean?
It sounds like a bunch of stamps are being printed right now or something.
Oh, this post office work is crazy.
Yep. gotta ship off the 20 packages over here. Nice day with the letters. Okay, so we have them debuting with their first season with Monster Jam. Oh, another driver who, not his first go with Monster Jam, but technically his first full season with Monster Jam. Mr. Mike Pagliarulo. That's going to be something very notable to watch out for. What are you most looking forward to with him?
Well,
Absolutely, and on top of that, not only will you be seeing Excalibur, but next year is going to be Excalibur's 40th anniversary. So, uh, sorry, I'm blinker here. Matt has already talked quite a bit about a special anniversary body coming for Jester. Now the question is raised: will there be something special coming for the 40th anniversary of Excalibur?
We'll see.
I personally think there's a lot of potential there, and I think having that title itself is going to be something that motivates Mike Pagliarulo. That name is surely a tongue twister. Mike Pagliarulo to do even better next season with such a big title behind his back. So that'll be very interesting to see what he will do. Excuse all the noise in the background. Oh my god, my dogs are losing it right now for no apparent reason. Which checks out, but yeah, just ignore that. So that will be very exciting to see. And although there's not a super ton of drivers making full season debuts, there are quite a few drivers making their returns to doing full seasons after either being on the international tour or simply not being with Monster Jam. And of course, the most notable of that is that the Zimmers are going to be coming back to full-time touring with Monster Jam. And this is going to be John Zimmer Sr.'s first full tour with Monster Jam since 2020, although that one got cut short. So this will be his first actual full series since 2019. So this is definitely going to be something interesting to watch. What are you excited to see between both of the Zimmers? I think that's fair. It will be interesting to see how he can adapt to being in the arena, since I think so far he's had a bit of a difficult time with that, but this time he's going to have a full season to do so. And I think that with that being said, maybe we'll see a mini flip attempt or something like that sometime, because he has had quite some tough luck driving in arenas thus far, but nonetheless, I'm sure he will be someone worth watching. And on top of that, John Zimmer Jr., dude. I was super disappointed that he didn't make World Finals in 2022. He might not have made it then, but... Or, sorry, not 2022, 2023. He might not have made it then, but I'll tell you what, the odds of him making it next year are pretty high to me. So, he's definitely going to be someone to watch. I'm very excited to see what he'll do, because even if he doesn't make the main field, there's a 0% chance that he doesn't make the LCQ. He's guaranteed to at least make it to the LCQ, if not the main field. So, I'm excited to see what he'll do. And of course, he gets to keep his truck terminal velocity, so I'm sure he'll be very excited with that as well. And honestly, looking at his tour, I want to say the biggest threats with that series are Lil Zim. I want to say he's with Kristen Anderson, or is it Matt Cody? I can't quite remember which one it was, but one of the two of them, and then Tony Oaks. So, I mean, I think it's pretty even for him, so I think he definitely does have a chance to possibly grab a series championship if he can lock in. So that'll be something interesting to see. Now, with that being said, sorry, did you... Uh, Alright, yeah. So, honestly, I think it's going to be a cool tour. Cool tour to watch, for sure. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Here's a driver returning to full-time touring, back to the series. How about Kevin Crocker? Hey, I mean, I saw him in 2020, and he's had 5 years to work on whatever he's got to work out. So I'm seeing him kick off weekend next year. He better be locked in to do something, because He's got to pull off some kind of crazy move if he wants to impress me.
We'll see.
I mean, in fairness, Craig Champion might not have been the craziest driver ever, but he did that double barrel roll. Kevin Crocker's just got to match that now. Never know. And then, of course, another driver that we honestly have not seen in full time for quite a while. I want to say it's been 3 years. Blake Granger finally coming back into a domestic series. What's going to be interesting to see there is that he's not only not in Max D anymore, but now he's going to be the first full-time male driver for Dalmatian in a very long time. So what's gonna be something to watch over with Blake Granger?
It's an interesting choice. I mean, yeah, he's back in United States shows, thank God, but at a truck that's not Max D. But end of the day, at least someone's trying Dalmatian. I don't want to with Blake, to be honest.
I think that's fair. I mean, for me, it's kind of a 50-50. For one, it's weird to have him in Dalmatian of all trucks, and two, it's weird to not have him in stadiums after how successful he was there. But nonetheless, it's at least cool to see him back in the series for full time. So, we've talked quite a bit about drivers going back into full time touring in arenas. Now, it's time to talk about some drivers that are making their way into stadiums. Now, we did talk about Mike Pagliarulo already, but there's 3 very, very notable names aside from him that are going to be getting full series in stadiums next year. Let's kick it off. One of the most notable moments this entire year was Armando Castro at the World Finals pulling off his skills move. How he would not have made this series, I really don't know. So fortunately, he did make it into stadiums because that was a very well-deserved spot for him for really the past couple of years. He's finally succeeded, and I think he's really going to be a threat here. What are you really thinking here, seeing Armando finally making that Stadium Series debut?
Honestly, he deserves. He deserves that. I mean, if correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe his first ever stadium show was the Hall Show in Glendale 2021. If I'm correct with that.
I believe you're correct. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, cool. And he did pretty good. He was in the finals of racing. Lost, unfortunately, but his skills was pretty good and himself. But for his first stadium show, I was impressed. Like you can tell, he was already made. And from there and there, I mean, it was keep in arena. So maybe this year we'll talk. He did that moonwalk to backflip, which literally shocked the world. Like it was unbelievable what he did. And honestly, Armando could be top drivers for the points
100%.
season.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that because the thing with arena transitions into stadiums is that a lot of times we'll see that those arena drivers who are now in stadiums were more technical than most stadium drivers, but they had a harder time with racing. With Armando, that is not the case at all. He is very fast in racing. I want to say he's made it to the racing finals in Glendale before, or at least semifinals at the very least, which is good. Especially if you want to be high up in points. His skills game does not even need to be conversed, and he's not really afraid to get big air or throw in some interesting moves when it comes to grabbing a freestyle win. With that being said, there are 2 other drivers who fans have wanted to see in stadiums for pretty much the entirety of this season, and they're finally making it. The first of those we're going to talk about, who made his World Finals debut this year, though not quite winning the point series, was Dalton Widener in Jurassic Attack. I am very excited that he is going to be getting his opportunity in stadiums full time because, I mean, there is nothing that would make him undeserving of this spot. He has proven in independent shows that he can be a very fast racer on a big floor. He already was a champion in Toughest Monster Trucks, I believe, which is another pretty big title. On top of that, I mean, he's definitely not afraid to air it out. He has had some pretty massive air in his uh, outside of the World Finals shows, or even just the World Finals in general. He's had some massive air in stadiums, and now on top of that, he's one of the most technical drivers who is pretty consistent in the skills challenge, and as well as that, uh, he does throw down some good runs that get him some decent scores. So, what are you very excited or particularly excited about with Dalton Weiner moving to stadiums?
Honestly, it's an excuse they can hear cult of personality at every monster show if he's there. So it's a great song. Never heard it before. Yep. So with Dalton, honestly, well, I think honestly, I haven't seen a. This may be the best Jurassic Attack driver I ever seen. Paul Jensen or Don Franklin, the owner of Jurassic Attack. But Dalton, he just looks man like his nuance are perfect, and I just like the fact that when he does the stoppie or anything, he just stays well committed and he just throws up steamroll like that is so like, especially with, well he did it well twice here in Arizona. Last year he did at State Fair and of course this year in Chicago. Um, but yeah, he cooks, and honestly he deserves it. I'm hoping he gets top five too in Monaco.
I think that's pretty notable. What you said about best Jurassic Attack driver to date. I mean, you're looking at people like you said, Don Frankish, Paul Jensen, but even Tim Hall Jr. and drivers like him who are now rising faces with the sport. Dalton Weiner is just the definition of consistency. I mean, I feel like in every single skills challenge that he doesn't have truck problems in, he's ending in the top three. That's already a huge help in getting the points you need to land high in a series. But on top of that, I mean, he has killer runs, so very excited to see Dalton Weiner. And by far the driver that I would say every Monster Jam fan is absolutely pumped to see making his stadium debut next year. I don't even think I need to say it. I'm pretty sure you know exactly who I'm talking about. Who's seeing his stadium debut next year?
G.I. Joe Foley.
I mean, might not be his debut, but we're certainly looking forward to him, that's for sure. Especially now, he's going to be moving into Axe for the first time since last year. And, I mean, if there's anything we know about Joe Foley, he absolutely loves Axe. So it's going to be very exciting to see him back in his own truck. I think that's going to be one thing to push him even further in the competition next year. With him already being so crazy with El Toro Loco getting, I want to say, 6 freestyle wins all throughout the season and somehow still not making World Finals.
Yeah, it sucks.
Nonetheless, though, very excited to see him. Now, anyways, we had a driver earlier this year claim his first ever World Championship and his first ever World Finals appearance, and he is getting ready to make his first ever season debut in stadiums. Ladies and gentlemen, it's impossible not to talk about it. Zach Garner in Wildside is now moving to stadium touring full time, and we're going to be seeing him in Glendale. And speaking of seeing him in Glendale, what do you even say to what he did in Glendale just a couple months ago?
Absolute cinema. Never seen Zach cook so hard in his life. Like he was baked. He was baked.
you said cinema like cinnamon. Absolute cinema.
I'll let my
Inner being is crazy. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you're looking at between his freestyle run and winning the World Racing Championship, in my opinion, the two craziest things I saw all year long. I mean, it's impossible to not say that Zach Garner is by far, at least in my opinion, the most exciting part of what's going to be new next season. Zach Garner making a full-time stadium appearance. Now, one notable thing to ask is, where will he be placing? Because in my opinion, he and I think has a perfect chance at placing top 5, if not top 3. We saw him win World Racing, so we know he's good at racing. he has innovated the skills challenge, so we know he's good at the skills challenge. He can do pretty much any move. He can do wheelies, bicycles, and moonwalks, even butt kickers if you really ask him to. And I mean, we saw him in Glendale. We know he can freestyle. So, what are you really expecting out of Zach Gardner next year, other than absolute chaos?
Well, it's gonna be a wild side, I'll tell you that.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the person in the Lego movie. Wild Style.
See, here's a problem. If Tristan England also at the store too.
Tristan England and both Andersons.
Yes, and both fans. So Zach has stuff to do. Beat those two.
I mean, you already said it was Zach alone, but I think you could say it about the whole series itself. This this tour is going to be absolute cinema in its entirety. I mean, not a single driver that's not going to be noteworthy. Maybe this will be Matt Pagliarulo's big comeback after his unfortunate luck the past couple years. Now, that being said, it is Jester's 10th anniversary, and he's already been hyping it up since the World Finals, so maybe we will see old Matt Pagliarulo making his return.
2016 Matt Pag is like the LeBron James back in the day, bro. Untouchable.
2016 and 2018 for some reason. Those years were really, really solid for him. Now, those are all the drivers, at least to my knowledge, I don't know how I would miss any, that are going to be making their stadium debuts, at least for full-time seasons. Now, there's some trucks also making debuts. We already talked about Sparkle Smash. Now, the only difference is that this is Sparkle Smash's first full season, but nothing too surprising there. Recently, we had the announcement of Classroom Crusher, so a lot of fans have been pretty vocal about Classroom Crusher and how they really feel like it's Monster Jam further trying to point themselves in the direction of being a kids' entertainment, family entertainment franchise more than anything. How do you really feel about that truck itself?
You know what? Fans keep complaining about that, but once the show gets announced for this year, they will buy the tickets.
That is absolutely true.
At the end of the day, it's just monster trucks.
That absolutely correct there. I mean, and not only is it monster trucks, it's Camden Murphy. It doesn't really matter what he's driving, whether it's Pirate's Curse, whether it's Bakugan Dragonoid, whether it's Classroom Crusher, he's gonna cook.
Yeah, I'm still gonna support Cam Murphy as well because as much as I don't like him, guys, Cam Murphy, the GOAT. Love him.
I forget which series is Camden on.
It's on East.
Oh, so Bryce is west, Camden's east.
Yep.
All right, so I assume both of them anyway. It doesn't really matter for me, but I get those mixed up sometimes for no apparent reason. But yeah, that tour, like, I mean, I want to say that's the series Armando is on.
Yep, that is.
We got Armando, Tyler, Camden, Dalton, Joe Foley, and then this next name I'm about to say, we're about to talk about, because we have Chris Kohler, but this isn't no ordinary pull his dogs out Chris Kohler. This is Chris Kohler driving Mayhem. So that's what I was getting ready to talk about next. Mayhem. I'll let you do the lead-off comments on this truck.
Well, it's gonna be his own truck, his own identity. First off, not counting Brutus or the Mud. His own identity, which, by the way, I think Mayhem is a very perfect name for Chris Cole. That describes him basically.
I think you're absolutely correct there. And, you know, we saw some luck for Chris Kohler this year that was really neither here nor there. Some events were really, really good for him, and other shows he was rolling over first. Glendale. And just some really unfortunate luck there. Next year, he gets to debut this truck that he's had in the works for years and years and years. And it's everything that he would want in a truck. We don't know what it looks like yet, But something big is coming. That's for sure. And that's going to be really something that I think is going to push Chris Kohler really to his limits next season. What on earth was that? Oh, here we go. Time to buy some stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, this is just gonna be really exciting to see. I'm gonna be seeing. Okay, honestly, I know the right thing to do when you go to Monster Jam is you gotta run to the Gravedigger line. I think as soon as I pull up to San Diego, I'm running to be the first person to talk to Chris Kohler with Mayhem. I have early access pit party, I believe. Don't fall. It's Mayhem we're talking about. I'm probably gonna fall on the way to that. Honestly, it would fit the name. I'm super pumped to see this. I mean, we know nothing about it. We weren't even supposed to know this truck exists yet. So, there's definitely something big on the way with this truck. And I'm very excited to see what that will be because, I mean, we've seen Chris Kohler and we've seen what his full potential looks like. Now he needs to put that all on display. Super excited to see what that will entail. Outside of that, there's a few drivers now swapping trucks that are not necessarily new trucks, but just different fits for them. Of course, the most notable of that is going to be Bryce Kenny, now driving Monster Mutt. The likely reason for this is the Great Clips sponsorship is likely going to be coming to an end. But what do you really have to say with this truck swap?
Well, I mean, looks like the Mohawk Warrior is retiring, but at least Bryce is coming back to his first truck he would go, so I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah, certainly not. And I mean, again, I said it for Camden Murphy, but I'll say it again here. This is Bryce Kenny. It's not like it's some new driver in some new truck. He knows what he's doing. He's shown us that he's good at driving, whether that's Monster Mutt or Mohawk Warrior or some international fill-in truck. He has done it. And so I'm very excited to see what he'll do, even with this truck swap next season, because, I mean, when you're watching Bryce Kenny on the track, you really know that you can expect something crazy to go down. And I'm expecting nothing less next year for Bryce Kenny. The last direct note I have here, I guess I have a couple. The first thing is that obviously Jamie Sullivan, but that doesn't really matter. Kayla Blood is going to be switching out of Soldier Fortune, and this is going to be the first time in a very, very long time that she's going to be full-time driving a truck other than Soldier Fortune. So, I mean, I'm sure it's probably a little disappointing, but I mean, nonetheless, what should we expect to see with her now driving Sparkle Smash full time?
She's gonna cook, because that new truck of hers, man. Sorry, but not running Lando was not it, man. It was not it.
Dude, between Zach and Adam getting robbed, I just cannot.
Honestly, Zach should have won 3 stars. Adam deserves 3rd place.
Yep,
Mike gets 2nd.
that is precisely what I would rank that at as well, because Adam had a really good run, but he like got lost at the end.
Yeah, well, he was trying to do bigger.
Yeah.
Kayla needs to like lock in next year.
That's absolutely true. Especially since this is Monster Jam's new big deal. Like, after Thunder Roars, they've now moved into really wanting to push Sparkle Smash as much as possible. So, I mean, with that now being her job in stadiums, there's got to be some good pressure going on there.
The fact that Jay Sloan can pull a better moonwalk than Kayla Blood, that's something wrong with that picture.
I mean, Kayla, she's definitely, I wouldn't say, probably not in the runnings for a series championship, but I mean, she can do some good freestyles if her truck doesn't. Okay, well, there is one thing that I really like with Kayla's driving style that you don't really see a lot now. It's messy, but that's what makes it fun. She drives on the ragged edge, and I've never seen a run where her truck isn't sideways at some point, except Glendale this year. But even like looking at her show in April, she had a crazy save. She's really the definition of a ragged edge driver, and that's one of the things that I've always found to be really fun with her driving. Whereas a lot of drivers, such as Tyler Menninga, are pushing a lot more to be technical more than anything. Outside of her, I mean, we got like Adam, who even Adam has been driving a bit more technical than Ragged Edge lately, but he still definitely has that Ragged Edge going, especially when it comes to airing it out and cross threading. Um, and then the last direct note I had written down was a relatively small change that's taking place in the arenas, and that is that Alex Barden is going to be moving off of the Stone Crusher team, and he is going to now be moving into Team Throttle Monster. So what's interesting with that switch in your opinion?
Okay, well, if you're wondering what's happening to Joe Yuri, nothing's happening. It's just Joe Yuri is going to be in the bench of the King Power throughout the year. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's not retiring like what he did like a year ago. But yeah, nothing's happening to Joe Yuri. I ain't gonna see this tour in a couple of months when they come to Tucson.
Yep.
I'm gonna see him. So he's a pretty cool driver. Hopefully I can see Ashley.
All right, bud. All right, bud.
No. Being serious, for the past 2 years, she missed out Tucson because she had family situations that happened. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that because like Tucson for the past 2 years because I was like, can next year be the year now? Like we'll see.
Yeah.
But our Arena Series West, oh, it's pretty good. I love it. Weston is here. Oh, it's gonna cook. It's gonna cook really good.
I'm really hoping I'll be able to make Tucson. I'm not entirely sure yet. It's a goal. We've been talking about it a little bit. Weston is my main argument that I've been using for why we should go all the way to Tucson. Weston's gonna be there. That's been my leading point. But yeah, there's really a lot of crazy stuff going on. And I guess something that I casually brought up there that I didn't even think about before is that the Sims are no longer anywhere to be found with Monster Jam. But now they've moved on to alternate options, I guess you could say.
No, not even my goal, Frank
Yep, they sold out. What are you gonna do? Boo-hoo. I mean, Chad Tingler's also vanished. That's a bit disappointing.
At least I met him this year.
That is true. He had a great year too. I mean, I remember we were in Chandler, and I don't remember if it was Phil or someone else, but they pulled up on their phone. They were like, "This is a beautiful image," and it was like his second event of the year, and he already won a freestyle competition. That's something that's always very interesting to see is that drivers who are good in both stadiums and arenas. That's something that's really worth considering when it comes to stuff like the World Finals, especially as far as driver selection goes. One notable thing there is like Cody Saucier has not ended extremely high up on his series lately, but he still gets invited to all the shows because he's proven that all the World Finals because he's proven that he is capable in stadiums, not only arenas. So I'm sure that probably plays a part of why he is often selected for bigger shows such as the World Finals. And even then, I mean, he did win. Okay, this is a side note, but can we just talk about how everyone has kind of just forgotten that Cody Saucier won at the All-Star Challenge, and that was a 24 truck field. So it was the basic equivalent of winning a world championship. It was at Samboy Stadium, and there were 24 trucks. So it was basically a world championship. No one really comments on it. That did happen.
Honestly, I'm glad to see Cody because, like, the only time that saw Cody was this year's World Finals and World Finals in Orlando. So at least this time, I'm gonna see Cody at a arena, not a World Finals.
Neither of those World Finals went super great for him.
Yeah, we did a cool crash.
It's a cool crash. He almost saved it as well, but the truck slipped out from under him. That and RII worked together to put an end to his run. Aside from that, we've seen some interesting new tracks being tested around with during this postseason. We saw the track that we saw in Glendale and Arlington, and then there was the track that we saw in Houston. Both interesting tracks. We still do not know which track will be on which tour, or if both tracks will even be running next year, but they're still both worth talking about. So let's start off with the track that we just saw in Glendale. That almost S-style racing course that we saw that almost kind of looks like they were just driving in like a personal figure eight that didn't actually cross over. That was a very interesting track to see, especially when it came to freestyle. It made freestyles a little bit more difficult. So, regardless of which tour it's on, how do you think that track might play into the General Series Championship next year?
Honestly, for racing, I thought it was pretty cool for racing. I like the track. Freestyle, it was pretty chaotic, especially. I can see for next year if they are going to do that track, a lot of trucks will be doing like unexpected stuff. Like for example, Zach's huge air to crash, or Adam's save, or that full send that can't be did from that one jump. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But that track, I can see it's very good for freestyle. I do like it. I do like it.
yeah, I do like one particular note that. Okay, side note, I just pulled off like a killer bicycle in BeamNG. One thing that I like that you mentioned is that you mentioned how racing specifically was something to watch because when it comes to a series points championship, you need points in every field possible, and when it comes to something uh, as stacked as these tours are, you really have to be good in every competition, and this track is really highlighting the racers. So I think that how well you can race on this track is going to be a major part of whether or not you can secure that point series. You can be great at freestyles and great at skills, but if you can't be fast on this track, which is very hard to be fast on, you might be in trouble. And so that's going to be something very interesting because with a lot of tracks, such as just standard Chicago style, it's pretty even between whether it's for racing or whether it's for freestyle. This specific track is definitely very focused towards racing, so it's going to be interesting to see how drivers can both adapt to being fast on that track to win the points race, but also do pretty solid when it comes to freestyle. Now, there's one other track, which is, of course, the track that we saw in Houston, which honestly is my favorite track that we have seen in quite a while because I feel like there's a lot of room for crazy action and also a pretty solid racing style in general. So, what were your opinions on that track if you'd seen it?
To be honest, I didn't really pay attention for that track. Like I remember seeing some highlights from Houston. Of course, I think Dalton was one that did a pretty nice long stoppie. Like it was very similar like Glendale would say. But I think World Henderson it was a bit better. But if we are getting those two tracks, I think we might be getting the one that Houston got. And that's right. I think Stadium West should have that track. To be honest.
Yeah, I really liked Houston's because I mean they've really been giving us like paperclip every single year recently, and they've done very little to change it. But with Houston, they kind of put a bigger twist on it, where it was still paperclip, where the actual racing style I want to say was actually Cyclone style, but with a little bit of a twist on it. They came up with a new name for it, I believe, but I don't remember what it was. Um, but yeah, that was a very cool track, particularly to look at in freestyle. I mean, we saw Adam having massive air. Chris Kohler did a crazy save driving Rod Ryan show. So there's really a lot of potential with that track because it's not only a new racing course, but it also is pretty well put together for freestyle, and I think it's going to be really fun to watch because of that. Let's be real. There's probably not going to be any changes to the arena's track, but here's a random question, a toss-up question, because they randomly decided to change it next year. What color are the arenas going to be next year? Because I was not expecting red.
Blue.
Really? Okay, so we're going to go back is what you think here.
Yes.
I think that would be a pretty fair guess there. I don't really see why they even changed it unless they just had, for some reason, a very large excess of red dirt paint, which I don't know how they would even end up with that much, but it was a very strange choice, in my opinion. We also have not seen any green tracks in a long time. I want to say the last green track we saw was 2021, if I'm thinking correctly.
Yeah, you're right.
Now I don't see them taking green to the arenas. It's really not an arena color, but I do still wonder why they really stopped rolling with that. Now, boring talk aside, next season is very exciting. There's a lot to look forward to, and we're gonna be in Glendale, so that's definitely gonna be a show to look forward to. We're seeing both Excalibur and Jester on their anniversaries. We're seeing the Anderson brothers taking on each other again in Glendale. This is I've heard they've done this every year for the past few years, with the exception of 2022. But even with that show, it was still a different Anderson brother. So, I mean, sort of, it was still there. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be awesome to see them competing against each other. So what are you really looking forward to now that we're actually gonna be able to see these drivers?
Well, of course, we'll be in Glendale. Excited to see back the Pags, which actually this is the first time I've met
Pat Magley or Rulo?
Matt. I met Matt. This year, very awesome guy to meet. 2 years ago, I did met yes, I met Nick 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Never met Mike, so it'd be pretty cool. Also the returning Colmenar, which I have not seen since Glendale Fall 2022. Of course, he won freestyle and won the overall. A big pirate guy.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of hometown, Tyler Duke is coming back. Thank God.
Oh, I didn't even remember to talk about that. This is his first time in 3 years it's gonna have been, right?
3 years.
I think honestly, I've heard some other people talk about it. I think this is gonna be one of his last years, and I think the reason he's doing another hometown show is because he wants his kids to be able to see him drive again, since he hasn't done a show here in a while. I feel like he's getting ready to put up the helmet, so he wants to do a couple more hometown shows so they can see. But I mean, he's made it very clear, especially with the new Monster Truck Roofer account, that I think he's getting ready to move on past Monster Truck sometime soon, which is also a bit sad, but happens. Here, I'm not sure what the plan is for the international series, because this year it was really surprising that we ended up getting Matt Cody driving Gravedigger, and it's looking like we're gonna have that same situation again next year, because if they're still working with the international series, which I assume they will because they've been pushing that so much, we're probably gonna see another new Gravedigger driver. So that will be very intriguing to think about.
Well, if Charles will be back right there.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
Just Charlie and
The synergy is there.
Same with him with when he was with the Pope.
Both very solid picks. It's a little bit questionable to have seen him in Megalodon, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
I mean, either way, he still cooks. Megalodon shows that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he.
Surprised seeing him on Big Raw.
You can't forget about that consecutive backflip he did in I want to say Durban, somewhere around there. You gotta.
Oh yeah, the McDonald's backflip.
Hey, let me eat my 20-piece McNugget featuring a vanilla milkshake in peace. And only if they're crispy and salted and still hot will I eat the French fries. I might be big, but I'm still picky. Yeah, anything but me not eating all the food at the function. Something's definitely wrong if that doesn't happen. McDonald's backflip brand. Why don't we get we gotta forget the Chick-fil-A thing. Why don't we get like a Texas Roadhouse? That's only in Texas they do that though. I want a Texas Roadhouse raffle that every fan that buys a ticket is automatically entered into, and the winner is always whichever ticket I get.
Plot twist, Jack Bell tickets.
I buy out all like $20,000 worth of tickets just so I can get the Texas Roadhouse. Anything for the food, man. Anything. I'll do whatever it takes for that food. Anyway. Wait, that would be way more than $20,000. Who am I kidding? There's like 50,000 seats alone.
Yeah.
You know, I had a very specific thing I was gonna say, and then oh right, Joe Dennis. Joe Dennis International Series, maybe.
Please and thank you. I will be on my seat.
You'll be edge on your seat. Okay, yeah. I mean, I would be very excited if we saw full-time Joe Dennis stadiums. I mean, semi-full-time since they do quite a few events, but also do some arena shows.
I wonder if like something happens to a driver. Not saying I don't want this to happen, but I wonder if something happens to a driver during Glendale weekend. Either Joe Dennis replace it.
It could be like a repeat of the whole Mark List situation where they went through like 3 different drivers while replacing him until they ultimately decided on.
So I mean, Joe Dennis in Glendale. It's gonna be the best show in Glendale since October 2019. I don't care, bro. Joe Dennis in Glendale will feed families, bro.
Feed families. I mean, not if I get to the food first.
No.
I will eat 3 families of 5 worth of food. You don't understand. You cannot underestimate my ability to eat food, especially if chicken nuggets or pizza slices are involved. That's how it goes. You know, now that I just commented on that, I kind of forgot that Charlie Parkin like drove for like a month in El Toro Loco.
Yeah.
Talk about weird fits.
And we got raw with freaking Chelsea Van Cleve in Glendale last year.
Oh, sounds like dinner's ready.
It's not like dinner is ready.
I just heard a bell ding in the background. Everything is food related to me. Of course you know. You see me eat. Actually, I want to say at the fair, at Monster Jam, at Hot Wheels Monster Trucks, and at the Monster Jam before that, I want to say at every single show you see me eating chicken tenders.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Eat something else for once.
You saw me eat Wetzel's, because that's totally better.
That's not really food at the end of the day.
If it goes in my mouth and I eat it, it's food. Wait. Oh, wait. Pause.
Alright.
That was not. Alright. Anyway. Joe Dennis. Well then, who would you want? This sounds so bad. Who would you want Joe Dennis to replace for our show? Ooh. That would actually be heat.
I will legit buy all this Marvel Smash
Dude, we'd end up with Chelsea Van Cleve again. Does she even? Where even did she go? She's just international now. It's like, anywhere but here. Where did he even go? Is he on a series? That's what I was thinking. Like, is he on a, like, he just low-key, well, you could say the same thing for Abe. They're just, like, not there. They just did some postseason shows and then just, like, exist now. Yeah. Probably, Abe will probably stick with some sort of touring display until he has to backup drive. Jeff Sosa. Wait, who's even, do you know who all the fellow drivers at our show are? It's gonna be, what, Bryce, Kayla, Anderson's, Tristan. I have like 5 of them. Yep, it's 6 and 6. Wow, I'm blanking right here. I low-key heard all the names and then forgot what they all were, but I have them memorized anyway. Hopefully Colvinar does not get injured immediately again. Jeff Sosa to Black Pearl? Nah, hear me out. Who's the guy that drives Nasty Boy? he's gonna make his first Monster Jam appearance in like 2 decades, and he's gonna drive Black Pearl as a fill-in driver. I lose my speaking privileges. Hey, wait. Look at that. It's 5:52. In 8 minutes, now 7 minutes, it will be 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is the average time most people eat dinner. And if there's anything you know about me, I love eating food. And dinner is food. No, I honestly have no clue. I'm probably gonna go downstairs, eat some mini drumsticks, a Hostess cupcake, and then make a Nutella sandwich. Yeah. I mean, if I had the budget for a pizza, that would be great. I'm not sure that I do. I ate the worst pizza known to man at school earlier anyway. I'm pretty sure they use ketchup. Like a candy salad? You know, my perfect salad is you take some Cane's chicken tenders. You take some Cane's chicken tenders, some McNuggets, some Texas Roadhouse chicken critters, some Portillo's chicken tenders, and some Whataburger chicken tenders. You toss in some Texas Roadhouse dinner rolls and some Cane's bread. You put some root beer on for seasoning, and then you put a chocolate cake shake as a drink. The pure silence for like a minute straight really speaks volumes there. Nah, he's making me the salad. You kidding? He's not eating any of that. Last thing, he needs some more food, bro. Hey, Joseph, don't tune into the stream. Actually, don't come in here right now. It's no coincidence that he invited me to dinner at a restaurant that happens to have a salad bar at it.
Of course.
Dude, I had no idea what I was getting into when I went there.
Sorry that you even went there in the first place.
Bro, the lineup was possibly the most insane thing I've ever seen. But it was only like an hour and a half, so I'm alive still, barely. We spent half an hour parking. I'm not kidding. There was no parking anywhere. Ah. Hey, how come we never get Deegan to talk anywhere? He did one stream with me and then never again.
Oh, what'd you do to him, bro?
I might have made him stream from like 9:30 to like 11:30 once. I think, well, no, not really. He could have left. I I think he's boring when it comes to the. Okay, he also said that we had to do a. He posted a sign up series, Puck Your Truck, whatever that means. Si- sign up series, Puck Your Truck. No, Puck. Like you, Puck, UCK, Puck. I guess. Puck Your Truck. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. That's what his new title was. Just saying. Might want to work on his English if he's gonna go be in college right now. Right, he could just pay it off. Sir, it's actually not legal for you to be this illiterate. Oh, don't worry. I'll give you like 50,000 bucks right here. It's on me. It's on the house. Not at all. Not at all. Hey, why doesn't he just like own a chassis at this rate? too nerdy for that. He'd buy a diagram of like a very detailed like diagram that you see at like a museum of like the solar system. He's got like you came to get some receipts, I see. Yikes. You know, he's probably gonna start profiting on that. It's very unfortunate. I don't think, unfortunately, my man Mac Bulldog Mac might not be able to make San Diego anymore, which is unfortunate. I probably will be there, all alone, that means, because Wayne is gonna be in Florida. You are gonna be at 2 Extreme. Deegan was considering going, but now he's probably just gonna be at 2 Extreme. You sound like a horse. He is a horse. Hey, well, Phil would find that quite humorous, I would imagine. Trooper! And maybe I could get Chris to walk around the pit party with me. Yeah. That didn't convince you even a little bit. You're not convinced. I don't know, you tell me. You're the one that was adamant for like 3 events to finally meet me. You're chasing me around like some kind of celebrity. Uh-huh. Hey. And who kept asking? I'm about to pull up the receipts in the YouTube comment section. Too many receipts. Hey, I'm about to pull up the Glendale October 2022 pre-event post, and you're like, yeah, find me in the pit party. I was like, okay. I did not find you in the pit party. No. Me too. No. Okay. Me and my uncle were looking at him, and I go, and my uncle goes, "Is that Scott Douglas? Wow, is that Scott Douglas?" And I go, "I think it is." And then my dad goes, "Go say hi to him." And I go, I'm not gonna go say hi to a random old man if I don't know if it's Scott or not." And then they go, no, just say hi. So I'm like 50 feet away in line for Adam, and I yell, "Scott!" And he didn't look at me, and I go, "No, he didn't respond. That's totally not him." And they go, "He probably didn't hear you." And I go, "Scott!" And then he just kept staring at like nothing. And they go, "I don't think he can hear you from here. You gotta go ask him." And I was like, "I'm not doing that." So I missed my opportunity to go see Scott. That's not at the World Finals anyway, so. Is that even English? What? On what? Which part? Which part of it?
When you said that how funny it was when certain.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Pause. I said what now?
Yeah, you said how funny it was Spencer invented.
Did I? Okay, okay.
Yes.
Just had to verify that I was hearing that correctly. Yeah, 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 of course, of course. You know, I gotta wonder how much the driver payout is for that with how many teams have joined them at this rate. It's just like keeps growing. Like I'm pretty sure that's where the Sims went from what I've heard, but I could be wrong. Might have been getting them confused with a different team.
Well, it'll still be an enemy.
Yeah, at the very least. And Craig Christensen's quote retirement.
Craig needs to come to Glendale one more time.
Craig is not coming to Glendale.
Yes, he is. He will.
Hey, I got to see him at the state fair in his last run in Dragon Slayer.
He did too.
You were there for that?
Yeah.
Ah,
How did you not see me with the sombrero?
'cause I didn't know who you were. That's when he blew. Remember he blew the motor?
Yeah. Last show in Arizona. Actually, no, that's a lie. His last show was actually the week after he actually was in Yuma.
What was he driving there?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Craig Christensen on his farewell tour. Quote.
Yes.
I feel like he's not the only driver that's done that lately. We're gonna retire and then just don't retire. I just remembered I was gonna talk about this earlier and I completely forgot. I had school pizza earlier, and I'm like 90% sure that they used ketchup for the sauce because,
Bro, you're still. I know you're still.
what? Dude, it was so bad. Like, pizza sauce should not be dripping everywhere, and like it stained my jeans. Like, there's like a brown spot on my on my pants right now. I can see it. Look, yeah, brown spot on my pants. It's like running down the side of one. It got like all over the table.
Change.
I got home from school, and then you go, "What time are we doing that stream?" And I go, "We could do it like right now." You're like, "Okay." And then we started. And what are we gonna do with you? Because I have to go back into another social setting in like an hour, so no point.
Not my problem.
Not my problem. I don't care. I like hiccuped. And invented a word. If you could permanently delete 3 restaurants off of Earth right now, what restaurants would they be and why?
Canes. B-dubs. In-N-Out.
Wait, what was the second one?
B-dubs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's B-dubs?
What's B-dubs?
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I low-key don't like wings.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure. Bro, I went on a field trip a couple weeks ago. And me and my friend bought this bag. It was like this tub from Fry's. It was like 8 assorted like chicken wings. And we ate like 2. And we were like, yeah, no, this was not worth it.
Okay, well, don't eat those, but you gotta eat like wings that have no fat from like Barrows. Barrows has some good wings.
You know where else is good wings?
What?
Nowhere.
Oh. Alright. Well, if one day.
Whoa! Sorry, to continue.
One day, Tom Pizza decides to invite you to come to Barrows, you're gonna order some hot wings, and you're gonna eat them.
Alright. We're gonna do our own version of Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Hot Ones with Max and Mudio. This would be the worst episode in Hot Ones history.
Well, so that's our be back if you're in it.
Oh, okay, right. We gotta like come up with like a different name than Hot Ones. That has to do with like monster trucks. Joe D ones. Hot. How about this? Hot Joe D. What? Yeah, I think that's a.
Shut up.
Talk? Talk Tua? The silence on the other end really goes a long way. Hey, we never found one of those shirts.
I haven't thanks to Phil found it.
But yeah, but not at the fair. It's different. Our side quest was not completed. Dude, and
Wait, what shirt you're talking about?
a Hawk Tua shirt. Why? Which one were you thinking of?
No, never mind.
Oh, okay.
You saw our Deegan State Fair video.
I think I did at some point. My memory is not sufficient for that. And I mean, who's gonna spend all their free time watching Deegan State Fair video?
Yeah, ain't no one watching that, bro.
And pray, hey, how many views it got? 27? Oh, my bad. Sorry for bringing it up. Is that what he?
Got 28.
He low-key kept vlogging everything in sight. We walk into an archway, he'd pull out his phone. Hold on, let me record this really quick. This is gonna be sick for the video. Well, it's a pretty fitting thing for Deegan to do, I think. Let me low-key find that video you're describing. Monster Jam Fan 0311. In the meantime, let me ask you a quick question about the monster truck community. What are your opinions on one of the older faces in the community that I haven't really heard from in quite a hot minute? Monster Jam Collector 2007.
He was my arm.
Was he?
Yeah.
Dude, this is an hour 20 minutes long. I did not watch all this. I'm not watching all that. Right? I don't even see a single part of the stupid vlog clips that he kept recording.
If you watched it, which you should. Wait, I did watch this, bro. He didn't put any of the vlog stuff.
Yeah,
Why?
there's literally none of it in there. It's literally just the shows.
Yeah.
It's kind of lame. Dude, I'm surprised he hasn't got taken down for using the full highlight strategy, too.
What is, bro?
I've just... Get out! Loki, why the good ones gotta fall first? They're striking all the wrong people. We still have Monster Jam Fan 0311 standing, and not Mac Bulldog Mac, really. That's the plan of action here. No, no. I low-key gotta bring back my my Sign of Series stuff.
Oh yeah, man, because the 20 views that you get are definitely worth it.
it's just like fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm still 5, but I feel like they're fun to record. Dude, I was so like I know I still am now, dude. I was like so big in middle school. That's when I used to record those videos, and I would be like winded like 2 races in from walking to the end of the track and back. Like, if you watch any of them, like a race will end, and I go pick up the trucks, and I come back, and I'm like, okay, the winner of that race was Gravedigger Zombie. And then I'll move on to like the next one, and I can't even like finish a sentence. It's like low-key awful.
Yeah, you just stop eating those chicken tenders, man.
Dude, I was so bad at that point, I didn't even eat chicken tenders. I was too picky for chicken tenders. I was literally a ride or die chicken nugget eater.
Still are to this day.
Nah. Now I at least have chicken tenders. Before, no tenders. Hey, chicken is chicken.
Same thing, but bigger.
Hey, bigger is better. You can never complain when you're eating chicken. Chicken's like the antidote to life. Hey Max, how's that truck collection coming along for you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Talk? Say that again. Hey Max, how do you say 2-1 in Spanish? Sorry, what? No. Not 2-1. TWO 2-1. Those uno? Those who know? I'll do you one better. Oh, I just flipped over and started on fire, I think. Hey, what? Well, did I have my fire suit on? Bro, what does that even mean? Actually, I'm pretty sure like body fats are like flammable. Does that mean like fatter people are like easier to start on fire? I'm about to get like a guideline strike for this conversation. No more posting for 3 months. Oh. You know. Oh my god! I just like launched this like wing into like space. I think if you ever were to drive a monster truck, I think the one you would drive is like that big T-Max one with like the 20 feet long like axles. the big wide one. Excavator. Hey, how dare you disrespect Gage Bursey like that?
What do you mean?
That truck is for Gage and Gage only. That'd be like if I was like, yeah, when I grow up, I'm gonna actually drive Mayhem. Like, I don't think that's how that works. Low-key, if Deegan were to drive a truck, definitely Sparkle Smash. Not even like a question about it. Honestly, why did like the entirety of the sign-up series community just like fall off? I remember I was like 11 and I entered like his holiday point series. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I remember the full story. So it was like I was like 11 and he had like his holiday point series and I wanted to drive like the Dragon Snow Treads or whatever. Or no, it was the Nitro Neon's Dragon and I wanted it. And then this guy named Shock Shooter like already took it, so I comment on this is like way before I even knew who Deegan was. I comment on his video, well the truck I wanted was already taken, so I'll take, and I just said some random truck, and then I went to Shock Shooter's comment and I go, aw, you got the truck I wanted, and I put a sad face. And then in the Field of Trucks video, Deegan said I got to be Nitro Neon's Dragon because Shock Shooter decided to give it up for me. So I basically guilt tripped this guy into giving me this truck. And then I ended up winning the entire series. It was so funny. I remember I was like in the car and we were like driving through the mountains at like 11 p.m. And I randomly like shot up in energy. And I started telling like my sister and my dad, and I'm like, I just won this competition on YouTube for like monster trucks. And I was like, I was so excited to win the sign-up season for no reason. That was like my peak life moment. I have.
Congrats on getting 2K subs.
I think you're. Okay. I have this thing that happens with my channel, where I'll hit like a certain like amount, and then I'll like just like go below it for like a week and then go back to it. So I like hit 2,000, and then like posted about it, and then I went down to like 1.99 for like a week or two, and then randomly like it went back. Oh. Oh. Oh no. All right, wait. Is it so your upload or my upload of it? Oh what? Hold on, I gotta find this. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, you're low key over there. What are you screen sharing through? Huh. Okay. Let me check something because it's showing that you don't. Oh, here we go. Hold on. It's like doing a weird thing and it won't let me see. Hold on. Can you? Alright. Yeah, I got it. It's in like zero quality for some reason, but I'm trying to see what it says.
I'll read it to you.
Yeah, I'll just read it because it's being weird.
You want me to?
Yeah.
This video takes viewers behind the scenes at the Monster Jam Code Party in Glendale, Arizona. The vlog features interviews with drivers, including what I'm about to say is not a typo. This is legit what it says, including Ryan Harrison, Jamie Sullivan, and Armando Castro, who discuss their strategies and hopes for the upcoming event. The video also includes a track walk where the vlogger analyzes the new track design and predicts potential highlights.
You know, apart from Ryan Henderson, it's scarily accurate.
That's actually crazy.
Like well, it kind of was also just like nitpicking words. Like I said track walk like twice, and then we didn't actually even do the track walk. I just said I was gonna do the track walk. Wait, wait, does it do that for like every video?
Oh, I thought, but I guess not. I was trying to go to my blog from 2 years ago, but it doesn't show anything.
Maybe it will for me. Let me check this real quick. Zona Monster, that's not your name.
No, it's not.
Loki came up with a bunch of like random animations of like black cats and stuff. Oh, you uploaded a vlog 1 day ago, I see.
No.
Wait, how do you pull up the AI thing?
I just legit, like, clicked on your video and then I went down to your description and it was there.
Wait, what? That's so weird. Wait, I'm gonna look up if there's a way to force it. Oh, I did not need to F11 that. How to get AI generated description YouTube. No, that's not the word for it. Like AI generated summary on YouTube. That's not what I need. Oh wait. Okay. Well, there's a different thing. You can post it in. You can post the video into it AI and have it independently generate a summary based on what it hears. Oh, there's your goodbye retirement. Wait, this was live? Live chat replay? I cried when he said thank you to all my Zonanites. Wait, how? Why is it only mine? That's so weird. But it didn't even like do anything for mine on my side either. It was like only for you. Huh. Or maybe I'm wrong, but I swear that was not there for me. Oh, what the heck? Vlog features interviews with Ryan Harrison, Jamie Sullivan, and Armando Castro. Strategies and hopes. That's so weird. Huh. I wonder... Well, I don't know why this video got so many views. Bro. I gotta... Let's see. I don't know, but I need some of these summaries for your videos, honestly. It'd be like the most cooked up thing you could ever read. There should be like details about the people in the video. Like there should be one that's like Deegan, and it's like, this vlogger is the living representation of a rainbow, or something like that. I think that would be pretty beneficial overall. Oh. No! Oh. I had a little bit of a bicycle to moonwalk action going, and I cooked myself over. What driver, like, not at their peak, at right now current Monster Jam, has your favorite driving style? No. So not at their peak, but just where their driving style is now. Just any driver at all. What driver has your favorite driving style right now, and why?
Honestly, I like Adams.
Okay. Is there like...
Adams still, he's still old school. I like Adams, like he still likes to do crossfits, which that was a big thing I liked back in the day when Monster did crossfits.
Not enough people do it anymore.
Except Adam. So like,
I would say drivers that still do it are, of course, Adam, Ryan, and Tyler, but Adam the most out of the three of them. Camden. I'm thinking we'll see some cross-threads from Chris next year for sure. Next year is just gonna be a great year. I mean, Joe Foley's back in his truck. Chris is debuting his truck. Kevin Crocker, watch out. It's about to be the best show we've ever seen there. Yeah, there's just a lot. There's a lot of changes next season, and like there's a lot of stuff that, unfortunately, like, left from Monster Jam, like retirements or trucks this year. But there's a lot of new stuff coming next year too, so that's also something important to think about. Considering that there's a lot of like Max D retirement and all that stuff. I guess one interesting thing is gonna be sponsorships, since all of Monster Jam's major sponsorships are like dead at this point, except BKT and Spin Master. Great Clips, Monster Energy. I guess they have JCB, but that's like the only sponsorship truck that's running on stadiums right now. That's kind of strange, actually. I feel like there used to be way more than that. Wonder if that will affect anything. I used to, when I would be doing streams like this, after Halloween, I had like this big bag of candy next to me, and I would like go in and eat one every like 3 minutes, but I ran out. Really unfortunate news.
you should stop doing that.
Stop eating my my candy. Why, you want to eat it?
No, it's just I'm concerned.
Yeah, probably a reasonable place for concern, considering that I went through the entire thing in like a week or so. Hey, I would not be surprised if we at some point see Michael making his way up into the commentary booth at some point. Just saying.
I'm good.
Dude, I wonder who's even gonna be the lead commentator for Monster Jam next year in stadiums. Not really sure. Who? I guess. But she more or less did like pit commentary. I don't know about like a leading. I don't know. Her and like the blonde. Who's the blonde one? She usually does the pit reports. I don't remember what her name is. She'll probably get moved up as well. Yeah, probably. Leslie Mears low-key vanished to go do stuff on the show. Or does she even, like... I'm pretty sure she only does the Mav now, doesn't she? I feel like I haven't seen her at an actual event in a while. Could be wrong, though. There's just, like, a new generation of everything. New generation of commentary, new generation of drivers. Well, okay, this is like bringing up an old topic. I feel like part of the reason that cross-threading is less common now is because there's pure dirt tracks, which makes it a lot easier to case jumps, and there's a lot less cushion with less crushable obstacles. So, kind of those things combined makes cross-threading more difficult and more risky in both fields of things. But I don't know, that's just my take on it. Absolutely. That's actually a pretty... I think, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a pretty good way to end things up here. We've gone for an hour and a half on this stream. We spent about 50 minutes talking about the things that this stream was intended to be about, and we spent the rest of the 40 minutes having fun, because that's what we do here. If you don't like it, then leave. Because, I don't know. I mostly stream for fun. I don't have any sort of schedule or anything like that for that exact reason. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. If you have any of your own contributions to provide as far as what next season is going to look like in your opinion, feel free to drop them in the comments or send me a message on Instagram. Same as YouTube, at JackinatorMT. You can find me there. Apart from that, it's been a great stream. Talks about pretty much every single talking point that I had in mind and some more. So that was pretty fun. Definitely will be looking forward to seeing the kickoff of next season in less than 5 weeks now. We're 4 weekends away from that, so that's super exciting. And then we'll, of course, have Glendale as well. Do you have any final things that you want to say before we wrap this up here? Let us hope. I mean, we have a stacked lineup, so I certainly have high expectations. As long as we don't get rained out, I think we'll be looking at a pretty good show there. So, of course, as you guys have just heard, and have probably heard throughout the stream, we do have different schedules for the first weekend. You know what that means? Double the content for you guys. If you want to see some Monster Jam action, although I probably won't be uploading the full shows because of how that's been going for other people lately, I will be posting stuff like winning runs or maybe partial highlights from the shows in San Diego. So if that's something you'll be interested in, that will all be here on Jackinator MT. And if you guys want to see some sick independent action from one of the biggest floors in independent monster trucks, you can head right over to Zona Monsters and see Max's own view of everything that will go down at 2 Extreme Monster Trucks in Chandler. I'm sure you are much looking forward to that event because it is pretty solid every year. That being said, that's about everything we have to get to in today's stream. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, you can leave whatever you might have to say down below or on Instagram. Apart from that, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.